Jacob Fatu kicks Solo Sikoa out of the Bloodline. Roman Reigns is not a babyface. The WWE accused of lack of creativity. Major concerns over Seth Rollins' health. Kevin Owens set to face another heartbreaking moment after getting suspended from WWE. A major injury update on Braun Strowman. Zilla Fatu spotted with Rikishi and WWE legends. Cody Rhodes fires serious shots at The Rock. Jey Uso's future as a singles star is doomed. Let's dive right in. Roman Reigns is not a babyface. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are currently locked in a war against Solo Sikoa's bloodline. The OG bloodline members have been at a numbers disadvantage over the past 2 weeks on SmackDown. Reigns also confronted Jey Uso on the blue brand, telling him that he is proud of him. The storyline direction in the ongoing feud suggests that Reigns might be transitioning from a villainous role to a heroic character. However, there are still 4 signs that indicate the former undisputed Universal Champion has not fully turned into a babyface. Let's point out the 4 potential signs that indicate the same about Roman Reigns' current character. Number 1. Roman Reigns still tried to manipulate Solo Sikoa on the recent SmackDown. One of the major signs that Roman Reigns has not turned into a babyface star was his attempt to manipulate Solo Sikoa on the most recent episode of SmackDown. This took place during a segment involving Reigns and Solo in the main event. Here, the original tribal chief stated how he wants to fix everything for his family and bring back the wealth and success they once had. Reigns even acknowledged Solo Sikoa, but when Solo demanded that Roman acknowledge him as the true tribal chief, Reigns became visibly angry and refused. Solo then pointed out that Reigns was trying to manipulate him just as he had done with the Usos in the past. The new leader of the Bloodline also claimed that Roman hasn't changed and still only cares about being superior. This manipulation attempt is a clear sign that Roman Reigns has not fully turned babyface. If he had, he likely wouldn't have tried to manipulate Solo in the first place. Number 2. Reigns chose the Aala Fala over Jey Uso. After Roman Reigns failed to manipulate Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline 2.0 dragged a brutalized Jey Uso onto the entrance ramp, having already taken him out. Following this, the original tribal chief engaged in a physical fight with the villainous faction. However, after taking them out, Reigns chose to grab the Aala Fala instead of checking on his cousin, who had been assaulted by the new bloodline. This shows that the former Universal Champion is still more focused on earning power than caring for his family. Number 3. The OTC has still not apologized to Jey Uso. Jey Uso attempted to reconcile with Jey Uso on the latest edition of Raw, but his efforts failed as the Yeet Master rejected the conversation. However, when Jey appeared on SmackDown and engaged in a segment with Roman Reigns, the OTC simply praised Jey by saying he was proud of him, yet he still didn't apologize for his past mistreatment. This shows that Reigns hasn't fully acknowledged that his previous actions were wrong, which is the reason Jey betrayed him in the first place. This provides yet another sign that Roman Reigns has not fully transitioned into a babyface star. If he still believes that his actions as a heel were justified, it suggests that he may still be holding on to that mindset. Number 4. Roman has already claimed that he hasn't changed. During the September 13th, 2024 episode of SmackDown, Roman Reigns himself claimed that he hasn't changed. The OTC stated that something had changed, but it was not him. This clearly proves that Roman still sees himself as the same person he was during his run as the undisputed Universal Champion. His statement about not changing is a clear indication that he is still in his villainous mode and has not transitioned into a babyface star. The WWE accused of lack of creativity. WWE has thrived under Triple H's leadership in the past few months, but the company's workings probably won't change anytime soon. Recently, Jonathan Coachman went off on the excruciating work culture in the Stamford-based promotion and pointed out a few concerning things. Recently, Rolling Stone released an article titled "Inside the WWE Writers' Room," where 6 previous writers opened up about their experience of writing weekly content for the Stamford-based promotion. One such writer pointed out the management's lack of faith and stated it won't change anytime soon under Triple H's regime. Later, Jonathan Coachman, former interim general manager and commentator, went off on WWE's work culture. The 51-year-old personality pointed out the issues with the hectic writing shift and structure and stated that complacency and lack of creativity are clearly shown due to the tiring culture. Until there is a fundamental shift in philosophy, writing for the WWE will continue to be one of the best, worst jobs out there. Imagine having a deadline for a big project every week at your job. You work all week on it, and then they rip up your work on Saturday, and they tell you instead of spending that Saturday Saturday you had to get on a 4 to 8 hour conference call, and every week is like Groundhog Day, rinse and repeat. That leads to complacency and lack of creativity. They are more worried about the deadline at 8 p.m. on Mondays than writing a great show, Coachman wrote. Almost 2 decades ago, Jonathan Coachman was a regular on WWE television. The 51-year-old veteran portrayed different roles before he left the Stamford-based company for ESPN. Despite a second short stint in WWE, Coachman has no interest in returning to the Stamford-based promotion under Triple H's new regime. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet, he detailed the key reasons behind his decision. If everybody's commentators in a 3-man booth not on the same page, the ball's going to go out of bounds. And that's what I felt like those few months when I came back in 2018. We fumbled the ball out of bounds because it was a 3-man booth. If I had been there with Michael Cole or whoever, and I would have been allowed to go back as heel coach in a 2-man booth, I think it would have been completely different. So that's why I say never, Coachman said. It'll be interesting to see if the company makes any positive changes to its writing culture behind the scenes. Major concerns over Seth Rollins' health. WWE superstar Seth Rollins has not wrestled in over 3 months, having recently returned from chronic knee issues. However, it seems like his televised in-ring return is coming sooner than ever. During SmackDown this week, WWE announced that the Visionary will come face-to-face with Bronson Reed on the upcoming edition of Raw. This comes after Rollins requested Adam Pearce for a match against the Australian star. The Raw general manager was hesitant to make the match due to concerns over the Architect's health, with him only wrestling 6 televised matches all year and recently getting decimated by Reed. Seth Rollins took multiple consecutive tsunamis on the Raw after SummerSlam, which is what wrote him off for 2 months. So, while not the match that he was hoping for, Rollins will get in the ring and come face-to-face with the big man. The segment on Raw will likely set up their eventual match once approved by Adam Pearce, potentially taking place at the Crown Jewel Premium Live event on November 2nd. Besides the face-to-face between Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, WWE has announced multiple other matches for Raw. Jey Uso will defend his Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker, which has become even more interesting after the Yeet Masters SmackDown appearance. Meanwhile, the #1 Contenders Tag Team Tournament is set to continue. The New Day will take on the Authors of Pain, while Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee are facing the Creed brothers. Who will come out on top in their feud? Seth Rollins or Bronson Reed? Kevin Owens set to face another heartbreaking moment after getting suspended from WWE. Kevin Owens recently turned heel by attacking Cody Rhodes backstage at Bad Blood 2024. Following this incident, the prizefighter was suspended from WWE. Adding to the shock, his friend Randy Orton sided with Cody in the aftermath, which led to Owens attacking Orton in a backstage segment on SmackDown. Currently, Owens is not allowed to appear in WWE, which he confirmed in a clip posted on his X account. In the video, the former Universal Champion expressed his disappointment with WWE's decision and with Randy's actions against him. However, Kevin Owens might soon face another heartbreaking moment if Sami Zayn reunites with the OG Bloodline. At present, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso have been struggling with the numbers game against Bloodline 2.0, as seen in the past 2 episodes of SmackDown. Jey Uso has rejected the OTC, leaving Reigns and Jimmy badly in need of allies. The 40-year-old star might be the only hope for Reigns and Jimmy to even the odds. Zayn had an incredible run as the honorary use of the Bloodline, which earned him widespread fan love. Nonetheless, during the feud between Owens and Reigns, Sami's loyalty was tested, and he was humiliated, ultimately leading to his betrayal of Reigns. Zayn later teamed up with Owens to dethrone the Usos as the undisputed tag team champions. If Sami Zayn ends up aiding Roman Reigns after Cody Rhodes, it would be devastating for Kevin Owens. The prizefighter was the one who pulled Sami out of the Bloodline's mistreatment, and the star would surely be frustrated and heartbroken by this turn of events. As of now, the former Universal Champion is on suspension, which has sparked questions among fans about when Kevin Owens is expected to make his return to WWE. Currently, the prizefighter could make his comeback on SmackDown before Crown Jewel 2024 if Randy Orton's request for a match gets approved by Triple H next week. The Viper's initial plea to face Owens was rejected by Nick Aldis, who stated that higher authority had not granted permission for the match. However, if the game allows him to compete against Owens at the Saudi Arabia Premium Live event, then the go-home episode of SmackDown before Crown Jewel would be the ideal moment for Owens' return. Alternatively, if Triple H also denies Orton's request for a match against KO, then Owens' return may have to wait until after Crown Jewel 2024. There's also a possibility that Owens could make a surprise appearance at Crown Jewel despite his suspension. Here, he might show up unannounced to express his frustration with the management. It remains to be seen how the Kevin Owens saga will unfold in WWE and what plans Triple H has for this entire storyline. A major injury update on Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman suffered a torn groin in his last monster standing match against Bronson Reed last month on WWE Raw, and has since been taken off TV as he looks to heal from the injury. The monster among men was victorious in the bout. His prognosis was unknown at the time, but Strowman showed off the bruises from the injury and has since remained away from the gym. Last night, the monster of all monsters shared a positive update that showed he was back in the gym. He posted an Instagram story of him showing off his gains in the gym. This could be a huge turning point for Strowman, who hasn't been seen on WWE TV for 3 weeks, so this could be a hint that he could be returning to WWE soon. Seth Rollins made his return to exact revenge on Bronson Reed and cost him the last monster standing match, which also gave Strowman the win. This win could have pushed Strowman up the card and into contention for a title if he wasn't injured at the time. Now that Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed have their feud mapped out, it could mean that there's not much for Strowman to return to. WWE has written him off TV following his injury and could now be a bit cautious about bringing him back too soon, given his recent injury record. Strowman has no feud written for him ahead of Crown Jewel in a couple of weeks, so it's unlikely that he will make his return to the company ahead of their trip to Saudi Arabia. WWE does have a UK tour at the same time as their trip to Saudi Arabia, and if Strowman is fit, then he could have a few matches at live events to test his ring readiness. But as of writing, his future with the company remains unclear now he appears to have been written off Raw. Zilla Fatu spotted with Rikishi and WWE legends. Real-life Bloodline member Zilla Fatu was recently spotted with several WWE legends, including Rikishi after the latest edition of SmackDown. The Yeet Master finally returned to the Blue brand to confront Solo Sikoa this past Friday. He asked the Bloodline leader to stop dividing the family by feuding with Reigns and going after the Aala. Following this, Jey Uso came face-to-face with his twin brother Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns in a backstage segment, in which the original tribal chief said that he was proud of his cousin, but the Intercontinental Champion did not seem too happy to see Roman and left after saying, "No yeet." After SmackDown, Rikishi took to Instagram to post a photo alongside Zilla Fatu that also featured Mandy Rose and WWE legends Booker T, Sharmell, and Mick Foley. The Samoan Stinker posted the pic from the New York Comic-Con with Booker's catchphrase, "Can you dig this?" he mentioned. Zilla Fatu is a real-life Bloodline member and is the son of the late legend Umaga. The 25-year-old has already made a huge name in the pro wrestling world as he is the current Reality of Wrestling RAW champion, a promotion led by none other than Booker T. During a recent edition of his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T said that he believed after Zilla Fatu's success in Reality of Wrestling, his next stop should be World Wrestling Entertainment. He also mentioned that he would support Roman Reigns' cousin throughout his wrestling journey, calling him family. My thing is this, we concentrate on Reality of Wrestling, and our thing is, I can't think about anything other than trying to get that young man Zilla, because he's talent, get him to the next level, and the next level for me for Zilla is the WWE. That's his landing zone. That's his safe zone. The WWE and his family. I really believe that. But I'm definitely going to try to get him all the way to the WWE and beyond just because he's family, he said. It will be interesting to see if the Stamford-based promotion has any plans to sign Zilla Fatu and possibly include him in the ongoing Bloodline storyline on television. Cody Rhodes fires serious shots at The Rock. Cody Rhodes recently took a shot at The Rock during a public interview on television. Rhodes has been on the radar of the Final Boss ever since he became the undisputed WWE champion at WrestleMania 40. Rock famously confronted the American Nightmare on the Raw after WrestleMania 40, teasing a potential match sometime down the line. The Great One returned at Bad Blood, staring at both Rhodes and Roman Reigns after teaming up to beat the Bloodline. Speaking on Wack Fox before SmackDown this week, the undisputed WWE champion discussed the current success of the business. He was very happy with wrestling being as popular as it was once before, while also taking a shot at The Rock. I've been telling everyone on the crew, I hope you're enjoying this, cause filling up these places ain't easy, and to have everyone be on board with WWE. Now, Rock will tell you he made it cool again. So if he comes in here just, sure, Rock, yeah, whatever, Rhodes said. The Rock already revealed on social media that he'll be back in 2025, although it's unclear who he's going after. It could be Cody Rhodes and the undisputed WWE Championship, or Roman Reigns for betraying the Bloodline. In an interview with BBC Newsround during WWE's recent tour of the United Kingdom, Cody Rhodes was asked to name his current top 5 favorite superstars regardless of era. Rhodes put John Cena atop his list, followed by Hulk Hogan and his father, Dusty Rhodes, and then Sting. The American Nightmare then split the number 5 position and gave it to both The Rock and Roman Reigns. He said, "All right, top 5 favorite wrestlers as of today. I would say John Cena, Hulk Hogan, my father Dusty Rhodes, Sting, and then fifth spot, I'm gonna split between The Rock and Roman Reigns, Rhodes said. Apart from The Rock and Roman Reigns, there are other superstars Rhodes needs to worry about. At Crown Jewel, Cody will lock horns with Gunther for the new Crown Jewel championship. Kevin Owens is also lurking in the shadows and can strike at any time. It is safe to say that the American Nightmare currently has a lot on his plate. Jey Uso's future as a singles star is doomed. Jey made a surprise appearance on SmackDown this week. He interrupted the Bloodline's promo and called out Solo Sikoa for creating a divide in the family. Uso made it clear that he too had his differences with Roman Reigns but was not in favor of breaking up the family because of this internal feud. This week on Smack Talk, Bill Apter said that WWE may be hinting towards an original Bloodline reunion. He stated that if even the Usos were to join hands again, that should not affect Jey's current run as Intercontinental Champion. The veteran journalist felt that Uso was a brilliant singles wrestler, and WWE wouldn't want to lose his current momentum. Hopefully, if they bring him and his brother back together again, it's not going to cause him to lose his championship and go back into the tag team division. I think he's a finer singles wrestler than to stick him in the tag team again. This week on the Blue Brand, Jey Uso even had a tense confrontation with Roman Reigns in the backstage area. The original tribal chief told Jey that he was proud of the success he had garnered as a singles star. However, the IC champ just said, "No yeet," and walked off. It will be interesting to see if Jey Uso agrees to help Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns against the menace of the new Bloodline. Jacob Fatu kicks Solo Sikoa out of the Bloodline. On WWE SmackDown, Roman Reigns expressed his desire to reunite the Bloodline. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry recently suggested a scenario in which Solo Sikoa would rejoin forces with the original tribal chief, thanks to WWE legend The Rock. Last Friday, Reigns confronted Sikoa about wanting to reunite the family, stating that he promised his father to fix it. However, Sikoa demanded that the former undisputed WWE champion acknowledge him as his tribal chief, which the latter refused. The Bloodline brought out a destroyed Jimmy Uso before taking out the original tribal chief as well. On the Busted Open podcast, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry suggested that Reigns should apologize to Jey Uso to convince the latter to reunite with him and Jimmy. He then suggested that the three could confront Sikoa and argue that the Aala Fala should go to the elder, more responsible, family-chosen leader. Now they can go and they can say, "Little bro, I'm sorry, Solo. I see why you are mad. You should want to be tribal chief because you saw Roman Reigns as tribal chief do to you what you're doing to everybody else now. You learned from the best. You learned from me. And I hate that I gave that to you. But the Aala Fala goes to the elder, more responsible, family-chosen leader. And it's not about you beating me or me beating you," he said. The world's strongest man then proposed that The Rock should interrupt the segment to claim he is the tribal chief. The members of Sikoa's Bloodline would then turn on their leader and side with the final boss, leading the former NXT North American champion turning babyface and reunite with the original Bloodline. Now, if The Rock came in now and he's like, "You gonna put your little brother with the Aala Fala on him, the hell is he done? He's better than all of y'all?" And now you see The Rock has gotten to Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and they turn on Solo. So now The Rock has his three, and Solo has a look up at Roman, and rather than being like, "Man, leave me alone," Roman just reaches down to him like, "Hey man, I'm sorry." And now you got the Bloodline, the original Bloodline, back together as a babyface 4 against The Rock and the other 3. After nearly 6 months of absence, The Rock returned at Bad Blood following Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes' victory over the Bloodline's Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Following the final boss's comeback, Sikoa was heard telling Fatu it was part of the plan as they stood among the crowd. Speaking on the Busted Open podcast, former WWE host Matt Camp claimed fans have connected the dots that The Rock might be the true leader of the new Bloodline, not Sikoa. Did Solo speak out of turn? Was that meant to be captured? Whatever it may be, I think people have connected those dots of the final boss might be running the Bloodline right now, which I think makes a lot of sense. And I think, Justin, and you tell me, don't they need that credibility of having The Rock calling the shots? The final boss has not appeared again since Bad Blood. WWE analyst Sam Roberts predicted the 52-year-old legend would return in January on the first episode of Raw on Netflix. It would be interesting to see if that would happen.